Hello, good afternoon. Today is 2nd April, the 13th annual World Autism Awareness Day. We want to light it up blue from Our Lady of Guadalupe Health Foundation and Autism Center. The theme for this year is Transition to Adulthood. And we are from OLG Autism Center inside Elie Primary School, Alex Ekweme Way, Jabi, Abuja. And you can also check our social media handle, OLG Head Foundation and Autism Center, Facebook, or Defeat Autism in Nigeria Facebook page. First of all, I want to discuss autism. I'm sure a lot of us know what autism is, that it is a neurodevelopmental disorder that affects a child's ability to communicate and speak. Secondly, it also affects the ability to socialize with the environment, and they can have repetitive, inappropriate behaviors. Now, autism can affect anybody, although it is more in boys than in girls, and there's no racial or ethnical or social-cultural discrepancies. It can come to anybody, and the prevalence rate is also increasing. It is 1 in 68 children right now. What are the early warning signs? Remember, I talked about the social, the communication, and the behavior. But the early warning signs you can note when a child is not making eye contact with the parents as early as 6 months, the child is not cooing or babbling, not smiling when the parents smiles back, not able to do peekaboo, and by the age of 2 years, the child is not able to initiate two-worded phrases. It's not developing like every other child. At the age of 1 year, the child is not attempting to speak, it's not waving bye-bye, it's not pointing, it's not responding when you call him or her, having and showing some repetitiveness in behavior, such as the hand flapping and hand wriggling, fixating on just a part of an object instead of playing with that object as a whole. Now, let's go back to the signs and symptoms of autism. You can't miss it. It's glaring in most cases. Let's look at the communication. Most of them, by the age of 2, 3, they don't have any speech at all. When they have speech or when they are able to communicate, they don't speak as well as their peers. It's quite delayed. They might not understand the grammar, the syntax. They're not able to make sentences. Even when they can make sentences, they don't have successive sentences in terms of communication and telling stories and reporting what has happened to them previously, even from the class. Then they might not even understand your facial expression, no verbal communication. Let's talk about the social interaction. When you call the child is not responding, appears aloof, indifferent, is not able to make social contacts, or might not even recognize social cues. Sometimes you see the child preferring to play alone, just in one corner, than playing with other people. Then the behavior. The play is repetitive. They just keep on doing the same thing over and over again. Instead of playing with a toy as a whole, they just take insignificant part. You see them having a rigid routine. They want things in a particular way. They see things that others might not be able to see. Like they might see a toy, but they prefer the broom or something round in circles, holding onto objects for a long time, tantruming for no reason. But in addition to this, they can have no fear of danger. Some of them can wander away. Some can have sleeping patterns that are bizarre, eating patterns, having feeding issues, having self-injurious behaviors like hitting themselves, biting their hands, hitting their head on the wall, or even inflicting injuries on others. And then they have sensory issues. Remember, no two children with autism are the same. They are totally different. But what you will know is that there is usual problems in communication, the social interaction, and the behavior. Now, most children with autism could have issues with their academics, poor cognitive function. So that is the reason why we need to help them in every aspect of their lives. Now, today, April 2nd, is World Autism Awareness Day. Are we going to celebrate our children with autism? Are we saying that we're happy that God made them this way? Remember, they're human beings. It's just that they think differently. Really, it's not a disease, it's just a disorder. So this day has been set aside by United Nations in recognition of people with autism and those supporting them. All of you supporting children with special needs that have autism. So today and throughout this month, and still to continue even after this month, we should continue our friendly activities to increase acceptance, understanding, support, and inclusive society for people living with autism. Autism is not infectious. So don't be scared that if your child plays with another child with autism, they will get it. No. Remember, this year's theme is transition to adulthood. It's been a challenge. You want them to become adults because autism does not kill. Do you understand? So they are going to live to become adolescents with autism, adults with autism, and it doesn't go away except if you do something about it. So you have to, the transition, you shouldn't wait till the adolescent. You start right now. Okay? You start right now. You start now to teach them what they need to learn. Okay? Teach them what they need to learn, how to use things around them to communicate. You teach them life skills, adaptive skills. From tomorrow, we are going to be talking about the various forms of transitioning you need to do for your child. But it's going to be a challenge for our children if you don't do it because they lack opportunities and support. They are not able to participate in the communities. We don't have multidisciplinary interventions, especially this time around we are staying at home. Even the ones we have, we don't have enough quality ones. And we have inequality, so the SDGs are not being met because they are the vulnerable groups. They are marginalized. So their fundamental human rights, such as education and health, are not being met. We need enough specialists. We don't have to manage children on the autism disorders, and most states don't even have. What are you going to do? What about this era of COVID-19 that has disrupted lives of everyone, but hardest on people living with autism because of what? Number one, some of them go to therapeutic centers, but because of what is happening, there is disruption in services such as the behavioral therapy, speech therapy, occupational therapies, other educational and medical therapies. They find it very difficult to cope with uncertainties of what comes next because of disruptive routine. They have low immunity because of poor sleep and feeding patterns. There will be an increase in mental health issues, especially for the adolescents. Their family routine patterns have been disrupted, and most parents, most families are not equipped to help their child with autism. So we have to start now to do something about it. What are the 20 things you can do to help families, or what can families do to help their children living with autism in this era of pandemic COVID-19? Remember, you're staying at home. Doesn't mean you should stay quiet. Doesn't mean everything is going to end. Doesn't mean you cannot do anything for your child. Number one, make sure you have an autism response team contact. Where your child used to go for therapies before, make sure you have at least a number of someone to call when you're faced with challenges in handling your child for advice. Number two, have a home school. You can homeschool your child. You can do therapies at home. Okay? Make sure at least you spend 2 hours per day in helping your child to simulate the regular school pattern. Number three, teach them how to prevent COVID-19 via imitational skills, role-playing, video modeling, reinforcement, token economy, chaining, tax analysis. And you can teach them the following. Remember, they might not learn as fast as others. So you need to teach and teach and teach till they get it because their lives depends on it. Teach the washing hand techniques. Hands off the face, how to use alcohol-based sanitizers, how to put on your face masks and remove it, how to keep our social distancing, how to cover our nose while sneezing. Number 4, remember, a lot of them do have feeding issues. Teach them how to eat balanced diet, even if it means blending that protein so they don't see it. You blend it into the food. You blend the crayfish into the food. You blend so that they don't see, but make sure that they have lots of fruits and vegetables in any way you can get it into them. Drink lots of water. That's number 5. Limit contact with anyone that is sick around you. Stay home. This is not the time to go to the playground. Create that playground in your house. What is the next one? Number 7, foster family bonding and family social integration with siblings. Remember, before this era, they were going to centers, their siblings were going to different schools. So this is the time to bring everybody together and ensure that social integration, that play, you make it happen. Number 5, use online apps for mental age appropriate teaching skills. So if your child is 20, doesn't mean you're going to do for things for 20-year-olds. It depends on the mental health of your child. Number 6, ensure participation in the house. Home chores. You teach them independent living. Number 7, upgrade on the adaptive skills, the self-help skills. This is the time to teach how to sweep, how to wash their plates, how to wash their socks, how to wash your spoon. Use everything in your environment. Number 8, make sure you disinfect common surfaces. Don't allow dust to accumulate. Don't allow this accumulate. Role model it. Teach your child how to clean and clean with him. All right? Number 9, create daily routine in a structured manner to mimic their previous daily schedules. So don't say you wake up by 8 o'clock, by 10 o'clock because you're at home. No. Create daily schedules and stick to it. Structured schedule is going to help your child to get a hand of what is happening and uncertainties happening every day, especially at this period in time. Number 10, ensure safety and curb wandering by locking your gates and your doors. Number 11, use visual schedules to teach communication as much as possible. Number 12, put extra time for physical gross motor activities, the rigorous training. You have to utilize that abundance of energy to improve their attention, reduce hyperactivity, and it will teach you to keep fit. Number 13, set a target, but be realistic. Be patient. If they don't get it today, they will get it tomorrow. Tomorrow never ends. Keep on teaching. Number 14, teach them about coronavirus. You can look for videos that will simplify it, but don't frighten them. Number 15, be a source of reassurance and positivity to reduce mental health issues. Be available for your child and don't drown yourself in your TV series. Don't say, I am at home, and there is no interaction with your child because you're locked up in your parlor or in your room watching movies. Please be available for them and interact positively. Number 16, do extra online training for yourself. There's so many of them that are free. Do it to learn how to help your child, especially when it comes to behavioral issues. Number 17, daily reading at home. Tell stories. It's story time. Story. Once upon a time. This is the bonding. It helps with social integration, family bonding, communication, and it will teach your child a lot of things. Moral instructions. Number 18, this is not a time to start laying blames and giving excuses. Make use of every available opportunity you have. Make use of your locally produced materials. If you don't have flashcards, cut out all the pictures from the magazines and the newspapers in the house, from old storybooks, from old school books, and use it to teach your child the things inside it. Create your own story. Create your own things. Number 19, create time for everything. They are not just about the speech and the academics. Teach everything. Teach moral instructions. It's not good to lie. It's not good to hate. It's good to be kind. It's good to be warm. It's good to love. Finally, number 20, pray every day. Teach your child the importance of God in their life. This is very, very important. I'm wishing for all the families living with autism, I'm wishing you happy World Autism Awareness Day today. I want you to look inwards, reflect, and make sure you see the ability in your child. Never give up hope, even sometimes when it's so demanding, depressing, you want to cry. It's okay to cry, okay? But after crying, you have to be the super mama, super daddy, okay? And make sure you do something daily for your child, for every child in the family. Learn to be happy, learn to be patient. To the general public, it is not easy living with a child with autism. Take it from me. So we need your acceptance. We need you to help us create awareness, become an advocate. Let us act now to ensure proper transitioning into adulthood, because we want them to be independent. We want them to learn how to take care of themselves. From OLG Autism Center, our dear family, and for all of us staying at home, we wish you the best. Stay home, stay safe. My name is Dr. Izuwah Doris, on behalf of Our Lady of Guadalupe Head Foundation and Autism Center. Please keep all of us in your prayers. Please stay safe.